What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be back to work on the Mustang GT. As you guys seen in the previous episode, we went ahead and got both aprons welded in, and we also went ahead and painted everything in. It looks really good. Now, in today's video, we are going to be reassembling this entire front end of this car. It should be pretty simple. I mean, we have everything in this car was OEM not too long ago. So we're going to start off here in the front. We're basically going to start with the radiator support, put all that on, put the airbox back on, put the front bar back on, and slowly piece this thing back together. So let's get to reassembling. So we got the car off the frame machine. I gotta say, everything is looking perfect. We put everything together, me and Yuri from 23rd Garage. We got this thing all back together, and this front end couldn't look even more better than it did before. I mean, check out the aprons now. Everything is nice and straight. There's no creases or crunches in there like that. And I think we will have to get new front struts. Brother was telling me that they were a little bent. I was asking him to pull it out, but
oh man, you know, I don't think my frame's strong.
we probably wouldn't be able to pull those out, but we're just gonna replace them. They're not too expensive, or get some pullovers, who knows. But dude, check that out. It looks freaking factory fresh over here. There's a little bit of dirt and grime, but oh yeah, I mean, look at that. You can't even tell. I mean, the paint matched up perfectly. Got everything painted in. I still have to do put the cowl on right there, but I think I'm gonna get the extra brace because the Ford Performance actually has another brace that goes on here and goes over there. But I gotta give a big shout out to Yuri from 23rd Garage. Helped me out on this car. I mean, we got it knocked out in about 2 days. Well, I think a day and a half, because a lot of time was just waiting on stuff. But we got it all knocked out. And you guys definitely check out his channel, 23rd Garage. I'll link the video down below. They also did a video on this car. And I mean, hey, we knocked it out, and I think we make a very good team. Now we're actually gonna take this thing to alignment, get it all lined up, and take it back to our shop. So we're gonna head over to the alignment shop and just see how this thing drives now. Hey, look, the steering wheel is pretty much straight. I mean, it's gonna need a little bit more alignment, but it definitely drives a little bit better. Once we get on the main road, we'll see how much better it drives. Check that out. The steering wheel is almost straight. It's gonna need to be aligned a little bit, but it's not wandering anywhere like it was before. But we're gonna get this thing aligned up perfectly. So Ruben just finished up the alignment and everything was good except for a little bit of the camber on the front shock. So we're gonna have to definitely replace those two struts. And good thing they're only like $100 a pop. So that'll be good to go. Now let's head back to the shop. Check it out, guys. The steering wheel is perfectly straight, and there's always something going on the boulevard. You got some kind of accident over there. I think they ran into the car wash, which is pretty crazy. Look at that. Dang, look at that truck. Holy moly, somebody did something crazy. Man, this thing drives good now. No issues whatsoever, drives perfectly straight. So we're driving back to the shop and we do have a lot of lights on the dash, but hey, surprisingly it drives really good. There's no issues whatsoever. You just gotta cruise back there and then we'll get deeper into this car. So guys, we made it back to the shop and I gotta say this car drives absolutely amazing. Way better than it did before. And the camber is actually not that bad off. I mean, you can see this wheel right here is just a little bit off. But I think once our new shocks come in, we'll replace them and everything will be good to go. And on the driver's side, I did actually adjust them a little bit. And I mean, it's almost literally perfect. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to have a tad bit of camber, but not too much. But yeah, basically we have a couple more things we're gonna have to put back together on this car, such as the cowl section right here. I just didn't have time to put it back on and we took it off the frame machine. And I figured, you know what, I'll just drive over to my shop like this because we're definitely not gonna drive this car in the rain. But man, this thing is looking pretty good. And I think what we're gonna go ahead and start focusing on is this rear quarter panel right here. We just have to pull it out just a little bit, get this little dent out right here. I don't know how good you guys can see it, but basically just has a little bit of a dent right there. And then right here, you just need to pull that out, put a little bit of filler and give it a nice paint job, because this bumper does also have a little bit of scratches back here, which all should just sand perfectly clean out. And that's the only body damage on this car, which is pretty cool. I mean, this car is almost done and it's only been a couple of days, so it'll be on the road. And we did order that engine mount and it's gonna be here next week. I don't know why it's taking so long. And I do want to give you guys a little bit of an update on the BMW M2. As you can see, I mean, it's basically a pristine car. We did add a front lip in the front. We got the new grille on there, and I did go ahead and tint all the windows. It's not a fishbowl anymore. And then I did put a little bit of tint on the front windshield, and I think it just looks absolutely killer. Check that out. And I got to show you guys that rear quarter panel. I know a lot of guys were saying that that thing's going to crack and it's not going to look good after a little bit, but man, look at that right there. The car is super dirty right now, but the quarter panel looks absolutely perfect, exactly like the first day after we painted it. And then we did also add this little rear diffuser right here, and check it out, it actually looks really good on the back of the car. It was a cheap eBay one. I didn't really want to go with carbon fiber because, I mean, you know how that is. You scratch it, you break it, and bam, you lose like $400. And I think it looks good, you know. I don't think you need any more than that. I think we will do a little bit of mods to this car right here. I'm thinking about doing maybe a better diffuser here in the back, put a nice little spoiler on it, something like that. Somebody already did plasti dip the emblems right here, which, I mean, it doesn't look too bad, but it is starting to peel right there, so we'll probably have to redo it. And I'm thinking about getting a bigger spoiler, maybe the GT500 one. They actually look pretty cool. I seen Goon Squad put one on theirs and it looked freaking killer. And as for the rims, I think we are going to get some different ones. These are some Vossen forged. I mean, they're made for a 2012 Mustang. I think Sam Craig actually let me use them, and we're probably going to have to give them back here soon. He actually brought them with the Ferrari, but they don't fit on the Ferrari because of the, you can see the way to air up the tire is right here, and they were actually hitting the caliper, which surprisingly it doesn't hit the caliper right here. That's definitely a unique little thing right there. Check it out. It's on the inside, it's not on the outside. But I think these rims in black would probably look really good on this car. And I honestly think these rims in black with some bigger tires would actually look really good on this car. Maybe even lower it just a little bit. You can see you can stick a whole apple under there. We don't really like that right there. But honestly, I don't know. I don't really like driving lowered cars because you're always scratching the front end and scratching the undercarriage. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and pull this car inside because we do need to repair that rear quarter panel. Just a little bit of body filler and primer, and then this thing will be ready to go to the paint shop. I gotta say, these 5.0s actually sound really good, especially with the Corsa exhaust. But let's go ahead and pull this car inside and get this bodywork knocked out. So we got the car inside, and I think we are just gonna go ahead and button up this cowl area right here just to finish off the entire engine bay. And I know the insurance company did take off that cover that goes right there. So let's go ahead and put the cowl back on, put the battery cover back on, and just button everything else up that's under here. I'm pretty sure we almost got everything. Just gotta check some more things and probably clean off that connector right there. As you can see, there's a little bit of corrosion. So let's get to it. Let's get this entire engine bay back to OEM. So guys, check it out. We got the entire engine bay all buttoned up, and I gotta say it turned out absolutely amazing. I mean, everything buttoned up nicely. We got all the original bolts. Everything's bolted in except for some clips. I think I left these clips at my dad's shop, which we're gonna have to go get them, but that's no big deal. That literally take 2-3 seconds to put in. And then we do also have to get these bolts right here. I don't know why the strut brace didn't come with bolts when you bolt that in right there. There's 2 bolts on that side and they're already bolted in, so I just took one from there, put it on here. But we'll have to order those bolts too. And bam, this entire engine bay will all be back together. And the coolest part about buying cars that's not wrecked in the front, I mean, we didn't have to mess with anything up here. All the cooling, everything is 100% OEM. And as for like the hood is all OEM. We got all the original stickers. I mean, everything is OEM-ly painted, and man, does it look good. There's not a single aftermarket part on this car. I mean, even this strut brace right here, I was gonna get it from eBay. I think they sell for like 90 bucks. But you know what, I figured, you know, OEM is a lot better, so we just went with that. I mean, everything is good to go. All we have to do is pop these clips in right here, and bam, this entire front end is good. And now all we have to do is work on this rear quarter panel, which I don't think it should take too long. I mean, the damage is so minor. Basically, all we have to do is take off the bumper right here, pop the bumper off, basically strip the bumper down, get the sensors out of the back, take off this rear diffuser, and sand out these light scratches. I mean, this right here is super light. It can probably just be sanded out, a little bit of primer on there, and it's good to go. And same thing with the quarter panel, basically just this dent right here, pull this out. I think once we pull this out a little bit, this right here will probably just come out. We'll put a little bit of glazing filler on there. So let's go ahead and get started in this rear. Let's pop this rear bumper off and start working out these dents. So we got the bumper off the car, and we went ahead and disassembled the entire thing. It's pretty simple, just a couple of sensors. And now we inspect the damage. I mean, it's very, very minor. I mean, that could have even happened from the loader when they load, they usually put a tire on the back and maybe it kind of scraped that, but that's no big deal. Simple sand and prime. Same thing here. There's no dents or anything in there. But now that we come to the quarter panel, we can see that it is pushed in just a little bit. I mean, just this area right here is just pushed in. So we're going to have to just push that out a little bit. I don't think there's any structural damage or anything. There's no seam sealer that's cracked or anything. So it basically just pushed this area in lightly right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab some tools and try to pull this all out. So we were working the dent a little bit and I can't seem to get it pushed out from the back. So what we're gonna do is actually use our maxi dent system right here, and we're gonna weld some of these tabs onto the quarter panel and basically weld them on right here and just pull this whole area out. It just needs to come out a little bit, but if you try tapping it from the back, you start messing this area up right here. So we're basically gonna pull it out exactly how it pushed in. So let's grab the dent fix equipment, weld the tabs on, and slowly pull everything out. Check it out, we got the quarter panel all nice and pulled out, and I gotta say we had to do a little bit more work than I thought. I mean, I thought I was just gonna tap it out lightly, but it was a little bit more complex than that. But check that out. There is a bolt missing right here, but once that bolt's up there, that bumper's gonna sit perfectly just like that right there. Got it all pulled out. Now it's not so pushed in as it was. And now it's pretty much time for some body filler. We're gonna go ahead and prep it, put a little bit of body filler, and get this thing ready for some primer. guys, we got the car all primed in. I gotta say, it turned out absolutely amazing. And honestly, the next thing we're gonna have to do is basically just sand this down, give it a nice paint job. A nice little diesel truck over there. But basically sand it down, paint the bumper and the quarter panel, and this thing will be done. And the last thing will be is to get some new rims, which I think we have some in the works right now. But you can see, look at the front camber. It looks perfect. I mean, we haven't even replaced the shocks, but once we do that, the camber will be 100% perfect. And the rest of the car is in really good shape. There's no really like scratches or dings or anything like that. Same thing goes with the front end. Look at that beast right there, all factory. We didn't have to mess with it, which is freaking awesome. But if you guys enjoyed this episode, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also follow us on Instagram at vTuned. Thanks for watching.